Okay, so in this lab we're going to do a proof of concept showing how we can link a Perl script into an OV composer correlator so that the Perl script makes a decision as to whether the message should be suppressed or not. So we're going to start off with a very simple Perl script. We've got a Perl script here which basically is a function called isBlocked. It gets passed a single variable, which in this case we're treating it as text. It then tests to see if the variable matches the pattern test, and if it does, then the return value is going to be 1. Otherwise, the return value will be 0. And then down here we do the return statement where we basically return retval. Okay, so the main thing here is that the function is called isBlocked. So, to begin, what I need to do is I need to get this function or Perl module installed on my OM server in the lab. So I just copy and paste that lot. Here we go. And like we had to do in previous exercises, I need to putty to my system. So I go onto the desktop, bring up putty, connect to my OM server, which I've done here. And then I need to go into a directory. So from here, the directory I go into, I've just put it on the board there so we can see it better, is opt-ov contrib ecs external perl. Once I'm there, then I've had one here already, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, create it again. By my perl.pl. I'm calling the Perl file my PL. Escape A. Right click, and there we go. We've got the contents in. Save it. Okay, so that's our Perl script set up. Next thing I need to do is I need to bring up I'm going to create a composer circuit that will use it. So we go back to composer. To open up in. Okay. OV composer UI. Bring it up. Okay. Open up the file that we created in the previous step, which is my store.fs. Now again, I've actually created this already, but I'm going to do it again. So what we need to do is we need to disable all correlators that we got in this file. So I'm taking the check mark off all of them. I'm going to create a new correlator. I want it to be a suppress type correlator, so I click on the suppress button, and I'm going to call it my Perl suppress. Okay, and I'm going to say that this suppresses messages based on a Perl module. Go into the definition section, and here I'm going to do something. I'm going to say that I want to suppress messages if the application field matches the pattern, oracle, and something else. So we find the application field in the drop-down list, which is there. I'm going to say this time that it needs to match. Matches, and then the advantage of this is I can use the full-blown OV pattern matching language. So I want to say that it matches oracle and something else. So just put in there oracle. Then to keep it simple, I just put in anything else, which is an asterisk with an asterisk between the triangular brackets. Okay, next thing I need to do is I now need to create some variables. So I'm going to create two variables, a variable which I'm going to use to compare in the advanced filtering bit, and a variable which is going to store the result from calling the external Perl function. So let's do that one first. So we're going to create a variable called, I'm just going to call the variable my Perl. Now, this is going to call out to an external function, so I click on function. Then I click on the value. And what I need to do here is tell it that it's not a built-in function, it's a Perl function. You can see we get a message on the screen. I'm just going to ignore that. And then the function name, I need to click on the drop-down and select new. Then go into the white box and type in the exact name of the function, which was isBlocked. isBlocked. Next thing I do is I specify the parameters I want to pass it. So that function is expecting one parameter. What I'm going to pass it is the value of the object field of the message. Here we go. Click OK. Now I need to create a variable. So I click right click, click add. The variable I'm going to call this, I'm going to call it test flag. It's a constant and it's going to be set to the value of 1. Okay, so what's going to happen is a message comes into this correlator. If it matches the alarm signature bit, it comes through. In the variable bit, we will call the external Perl function, pass out the value of the object field in the message. That's going to return a number. We've created a variable to compare that number against, which we've called test flag. And then in the advanced filter bit, this is where I specify a condition based on my variables. So I can say here that if the myPerl variable equals the test flag variable, which is there, then I want to suppress the message. Click OK. Make sure that's the only correlator that I've enabled in my file. Save. Close. Click OK. Again, I need to install it. Sorry. Install it. There we go. Okay, and in the next section I'm going to show you what we need to do with the Perl file definition.